And this is from Lake Oroville. And Lake Oroville is where we are hearing there was some rotation spotted in the air. And based on that rotation, there is some talk right now that there may be a tornado. What's going on, guys? Okay. They're having a tough time pulling up the computer in front of me. But what we do understand is that there was rotation spotted near the Oroville Dam. And so the areas impacted right now include Oroville, Brush Creek, Pulga, East Quincy, Hurlton, Story, the Oroville Dam, Belden, Oroville East, Bald Eagle Mountain, Meadow Valley, Feather Falls, Bucks Lake, Tobin, and Concow. And the people in those areas are told to go and take cover now, move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building, avoid the windows. And this warning is in effect until 4:30 this afternoon. So we have another 30 minutes in this. Thanks for joining us here for the CBS 13 News at 4. I'm Curtis Ming.
And I'm Marley Ginter.
Let's get right on over to Chief Meteorologist Nick Mariano starting us off with this tornado warning.
Yeah, as you mentioned, again, you're seeing the areas of rotation right there across northern Butte County, now getting ready to cross over into Plumas County. I'm also going to be monitoring additional thunderstorm development down to the south across the Sacramento Valley as well, because some of these storms could result in some areas of rotation. But at this moment in time, we are watching 2 severe thunderstorm warnings, and also embedded within that is a tornado warning. So again, what you're seeing here, this is live radar. The red polygon, that is going to be your tornado warning. You have cloud to ground lightning strikes, and that's an indication you still have a strong thunderstorm here. You may even see not just torrential rainfall, but accumulating small hail in the path of this storm. So again, if you're on the southern extent, right along the border of Plumas County and Butte County, right now is a good time to get into your safe spot. So again, we don't go through tornado warnings very often right here in Northern California. So where is that safe spot going to be? It's going to be in the most interior room of your home at the lowest level, with as many walls between you and the outdoors as possible. And the reason why we say that is to protect yourself from the potential of flying tree limbs and potential debris, especially if a tornado is on the ground. And right now, this is radar indicated, again, a radar indicated tornado warning within this thunderstorm. Just the northern side of Oroville. You can see Bucks Lake right here on the northern side. And what I'm looking at here is an area of rotation. Now, right now, we're kind of far away from the weather radar. So when you get far away, looking at velocity scans, which tells you where the rotation is, gets a bit on the messier side. So it's really something we're going to monitor, what we're tracking for you. But where we were watching the area of rotation, notice new lightning strikes popping up right here. There was an area of rotation right over here. All right, getting ready to cross over into Plumas County. So Bucks Lake right now is a good time to be in your safe spot. Same out toward Feather Falls, because there's a secondary area of rotation as well. But right there, where we've been monitoring this area of rotation along with an increase of cloud to ground lightning strikes, tells me that's a precursor to tornado genesis. So what we're seeing there, again, some really high winds right now by Brush Creek. All right, these are radar estimated winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. That might be some of the outflow from the actual thunderstorm. But by Merrimack, all the way up to the north, as you cross over the county line here, is where we're starting to see, again, a possible tornado. But you start getting into some of the higher terrain, too. So when you start getting into higher terrain, it really starts to impact, at least affect the type of circulation within these storms. So when we start monitoring storms like this, what we're seeing right now with this tornado warning, these are not the type of thunderstorms you see out across the Great Plains, right? Those type of storms have produced tornadoes that are long track, sometimes violent tornadoes. These, in today's setup here, at least in our area, these would be brief spin-ups embedded within severe thunderstorms. And this is the case here. So latest scan coming in right now on live radar shows a cluster of cloud to ground lightning strikes along with an area of rotation tracking northward, crossing into parts of Plumas County out by Bucks Lake. So right now it's a good time to be in your safe spot, lowest level of your home, and away from windows, and as many walls between you and the outdoors as possible. This tornado warning does continue through about 4:30 local time. So again, we'll be monitoring this. We're also monitoring several additional thunderstorms that are developing down to the south. The good news is right now on live radar, the rotation that we're tracking does not look as robust as what it was about 10 minutes ago, but still don't let your guard down yet as it tracks northward here into parts of Plumas County as it moves to the northeast very quickly at this point at about 45 to 50 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Marley, Curtis, you guys have an update?
Now, that is pretty fast, but I mean, we've got, about 25 minutes left for this tornado warning to go into effect. Nice to hear from Nick, though, saying that the rotation there seems to have slowed down a bit, because 10 minutes ago, it certainly didn't look like that.
And what was initially concerning was something that was spotted near the Oroville Dam. And if you take the computer in front of me, I do have a time lapse over the past 3 hours from the Oroville Dam, which will show you some dark clouds that really move through that area. So this is a time lapse of the past 3 hours. If you're familiar with Lake Oroville, this is up here at the Visitor Center, the camera overlooking the lake. Here on the left, this is Oroville Dam, and you can see the camera is pointed to the north, and you can see a lot of clouds moving through this area within the past 3 hours.
From just the last 3 hours, and you know that this storm is fast moving, so it's trucking along. You can see the clouds moving there quickly too.
Very much so. And so this is the first alert network, the Alert California cameras. And if we take a look at some of the other cameras here, I'm going to take a look at the Bloomer Outlook. This is right on the North Fork of Lake Oroville. And taking this picture full right here, a time lapse over 3 hours, it's really socked in here recently, but you go back 3 hours, you can see we start seeing some clearing, but you can see those clouds and how thick it became. This is about 2:30, and then we get to 3 o'clock, and then here we go approaching 3:30, and then as we move closer to 4 right here, you can see the camera is really socked in with that moisture.
It's pretty daunting when you see those clouds moving the way that they are over the period of time that they had. But we got until 4:30 that this warning is in effect right now. So that is when you want to stay hunkered down into the interior of your home, as far away with many walls that you can from between you and the outside, and down in the basement as well. As Nick was saying, this has been moving at a pretty good clip, 45 miles an hour, but those rotations that they've been tracking, that they've been seeing, have slowed down within the last 10 minutes or so. So that's some good news right there.
This is about the 750-foot level. This is in northeastern Butte County, just south of the Skyway. And you can see right here, this camera is pointed east toward Bucks Lake, which is where the storm is headed right now. But you could see the clouds moving from right to left, which would indicate it's moving in a northeasterly direction.
Right, and again, this is just right north of Oroville, right? And so this is that whole square that we've been watching there goes up towards Bucks Lake, and it's that entire area right in between there that had prompted this tornado warning when they started to see the winds rotating there. And
this right here is Meadow Valley, which is closer to Quincy, looking west. So let's watch this together for the first time. You can see just a lot of wet weather moving toward that direction. But this right here is the 5,400-foot level where they do have some snow on the ground. But looking to the west, the storm is headed toward this particular camera right now. But I do believe that this camera is located just outside the warning zone for this tornado.
Okay, well, let's see, we got about 20 more minutes left in this warning right now. We can only hope, though, that things are going to continue to slow down as far as that rotation goes that prompted the warning.
And here's one more angle. This is also in Butte County. The elevation's 5,700 feet. They have a bald mountain in Butte County, too. And you can see it's more snow up at that point, but the storm is moving south and east of where this camera is located. So we're not getting too many clues from this as we did from Lake Oroville, which really showed in the last 3 hours. Right here at the Visitor Center of Lake Oroville, this camera pointed toward the dam and to the north, but just going back 3 hours. Here we go again. This is 1:15, and you can see the clouds moving from from the southwest to the northeast here. And this is the area where they initially saw some possible rotation close to the dam, which is what prompted this tornado warning.
Right, so this was about 1 o'clock, right, is what you're looking
Starting
at right
at
now.
1, this last frame right here is 4:08, so
Okay.
just within the last 30 seconds or so, this is what it looks like at Lake Oroville.
And it was about
right now.
15 minutes ago when this all really started to pick up and they saw that rotation. And that's when all those warnings came out, and there were the concerns that people needed to move in and go down into the basement.
Exactly right. This is from Palermo, South Oroville. So this is pointed to the north. So again, this is the last 3 hours or so. So you could see the dark clouds moving through the area. But Nick called this. We were concerned about the possibility of severe thunderstorms this afternoon and the possibility of a tornado. Let's bring Nick back in now with the latest on this.
Yeah, and we're still seeing the storms there making their way to the northeast pretty quickly right now. But here's the latest coming in right now with first alert Doppler radar. We still have our 2 severe thunderstorm warnings, and also embedded is that tornado warning. Now the storm itself is crossing over from Butte County over into Plumas County. You're starting to get up into some of the higher elevations here too. So oftentimes when that happens, a lot of the rotation, the spin that you start to see with these thunderstorms don't usually survive much longer. They don't tend to last very long when you factor in the terrain. Usually when you get down to the valley floors, when you start to see this continue on. But here's the latest right now when it comes to that tornado warning. It's that red polygon right here that does include Butte and now going into Plumas County through half past the hour. Again, a strong thunderstorm. It was a severe thunderstorm capable of producing damaging wind gusts and large hail. Hail about the size of quarters overall, though, and with that, the rotation. So here it is. You still have a good cluster of cloudy ground lightning strikes, and you're crossing over. This is the county line right here, and you're crossing over into Plumas County, and just outside of Bucks Lake, because we had a new cloudy ground lightning strike here. So what I wanted to do here is get a live check with velocity products. This is radar estimating 60 to 70 mile per hour winds, but you have that area of rotation, and it's tracking its way to the north. So in Bucks Lake, again, this is in Plumas County. In Bucks Lake, the possible tornado is headed right into your direction, further down to the south and west, out by Orville, where the storm began. This storm is no longer a threat for you. It's now including areas like Bucks Lake northward, where that rotation is within the storm as it tracks up toward the north and east. So again, tornado warning continues into Plumas County. We're also watching additional thunderstorm development down to the south that we'll have to be watching. Marley?
All right. Yeah, you've been watching Nick right there talk about how this storm has been moving, again, crossing through Butte County, but now making its way into Plumas County as it makes its way towards Bucks Lake. The concerns too are those cloud to ground lightning strikes that they've seen near Bucks Lake as well.
A lot of lightning right now, and the rain, it's pouring across the region, and we still have a chance of thunderstorms throughout the region. So let's get to CBS 13's Tori Apodaca live in Land Park in Sacramento with the conditions there today. Tori?
Hey guys, just 15 minutes ago there was no rain falling down, but as you can see, that has changed in just a matter of moments. And that's really what this storm system has looked like all day for us, kind of on and off. The sun shining one moment, the rain pouring down another, and then of course that wind also howling. But earlier today we were out on KOVR Boulevard near Jackson Road, where we saw a car that got caught up in the flood waters. The water was overflowing from the nearby Deer Creek. Now, Sac Metro Fire had to help get 2 people trapped safely out of the water, and neither of them were injured in this. We saw multiple cars turn around once they saw the rushing waters, with the empty car still stranded in it.
And I actually wanted to just come down here and see how flooded it was. I saw the signs up here, and if it was a little flooded, I would have done it. But that is a lake.
Yeah, Taylor Lance, his wife, and his little girls decided it wasn't a good idea to try and use this street to get to Folsom. And on our way out from there, we also ran into some power outages caused by the storms. You can see on Grant Line Road in Jackson, the street lights were out, causing the traffic there to slow down. And the wind, again, as I've been saying, has just been howling on and off all day. And this is one of the reasons why we have been tracking the possibility of tornadoes down here in the valley. And of course, as we've been hearing about what we're tracking up in Butte County as well, as those systems are even more intense. But back out here live in Land Park, you can see the rain falling down on us right now as cars are making that commute, getting off of work. So if you are going to be out in these conditions, drive and exercise caution. Coming up at 5, we'll tell you just how busy first responders have been going from emergency call to emergency call.
Okay, Tori, thank you. And let's go to the high country. The snow is piling up in the Sierra. Dangerous driving conditions there on this presidential holiday. We got to look at the road conditions in this here from Caltrans cameras. On the left is I-80. Chain controls are back up on 80 between Kingvale and the Donner Lake interchange. On the right there, you see Highway 50, where it is slow going as people head down from their holiday weekend. The winter weather, well, it's not keeping people from hitting the slopes today.
Yeah, no surprise there. CBS 13's Kayla Mueller headed up the hill to Boreal today to talk with skiers and snowboarders on this President's Day. Joining us live in Auburn. How's it going, Kayla?
Hey there, yeah, I am in Auburn. There's been a lot of strange weather happening, I would say, just in the last 15 minutes. We were standing here, it was dry, then, the rain came down real hard. There was lightning flashes, we're hearing thunder, then it started to hail. The hail just stops, and the rain is not as bad, it's just sprinkling. But ice and snow, take it slow, is what all of the emergency boards were saying on the way up the hill today. And I will say that it was just rain, then slush, and then snow right in front of our eyes as we got higher and higher on that mountain. But when we got to Boreal is when it was cold enough for it to start to snow. And in Kingvale, on westbound, that's when the Caltrans is stopping people to check to make sure that everybody has chains on. And there's already traffic coming down the mountain. We were just stuck in it. It's pretty slushy and wet, so once it's cold enough to freeze, things might start to get icy, so be real careful driving if you're heading back home from the holiday weekend. But like I said, that slush turned to snow right as we got into Boreal, and that snow there left a lot of skiers and snowboarders happy to shred the gnar with fresh powder.
The fluff is very good, and because I'm practicing, it helps me slow down when I need to. Very good conditions.
Pretty good, yeah. A lot of powder.
Soft?
Very soft, yeah.
The perfect skiing conditions, or
100% perfect conditions.
Yeah, a lot of those skiers that I talked to today were from the Bay Area, and they say that they are going to be heading back around 4 o'clock, which is right now, to try to beat the weather for better driving conditions.
All right, Kayla, thank you. And a portion of Highway 84 in Alameda County is washed out. Caltrans pictures right here. One-way traffic controls are now in effect. And flooding in Sonoma County, we're seeing high water on roads around the wineries in Windsor in Sonoma County.
Oh, that slow-moving storm soaking the state with several inches of rain, prompting officials in Southern California to warn people about flash flooding and mudslides. They have not been able to get a break. In Ventura County, fire crews are diverting runoff from the foothills to storm drains and away from roads just to try to help drivers. And check out this scene in Santa Barbara this morning. Yikes, crews working hard trying to clear a tree that toppled onto a roadway there. No reports, though, of any injuries in this one. And staying in Santa Barbara County, take a look at this video. Ooh, that water raging in the swollen Mission Creek channel after the latest atmospheric river. Yeah, look at that coming pretty fast there. Very dangerous conditions that they've been dealing with. Let's bring Nick back in with us now because we still have a few minutes left in this tornado warning that we've been keeping an eye on.
Right, yeah, it's crossed now into Plumas County, the rotation itself, but I'm not looking to see, it does not appear to be as robust as what it was. No, it's still producing, it's still rotating, it's still producing some gusty winds, some high winds with that, but overall, still a lot of cloud ground lightning strikes, and a lot of times the lightning strikes too, just as dangerous. So good time to be inside, away from windows. You can see the polygon on the tornado warning has been updated to now remove Butte County from that, and now just include parts of Plumas County, where you have that cell crossing over into Plumas County now. Notice down to the south, we have additional thunderstorms starting to pop up as well, especially down along parts of I-80. We're going to get to those here in just a bit, but you can see there till, again, just a few more moments left on that tornado warning, now including just parts of Plumas County. So that's where the storm is still rotating. The tornado threat's still not zero. You still have a good cluster of cloud ground lightning strikes with this as that storm tracks quickly to the northeast at about 45 miles per hour. And the tornado warning for Plumas County does continue again to the bottom of the hour, what we're seeing. So when you get this far out on our velocity scan, which is what we use to tell us which direction and helps us detect the rotation within these storms, it gets kind of messy. But what we're seeing, the rotation itself within this storm is on the northern side, cross into Plumas County, and it's right there by Bucks Lake, moving off toward the northeast. But it's coming up along some of the higher terrain too, so it tends to disrupt a lot of the rotation within those storms. Further down to the south, as you get closer toward Auburn and up by Grass Valley, we're going to be watching these carefully too. Now we're seeing heavy rainfall and a really focused area of cloud to ground lightning strikes right there near Auburn, and we're going to be watching that too because, again, storms today, there's a lot of spin in the atmosphere, so it's not impossible with some of these storms down to the south that they could develop and produce a funnel cloud or a brief spin up. So we're going to be monitoring these carefully, but when you start seeing an uptick of cloud to ground lightning strikes with that, especially the cell near Auburn, an environment that we're seeing today, something that does grab my attention. So we're going to be monitoring that. We're also watching additional thunderstorms developing and showers developing across the Central Valley. Right now, these are not severe. The severe weather is up into Plumas County, which includes that tornado warning that we brought you here that continues just for a little while longer within that cell. So again, a very active day to say the least. Again, we're still watching the storm near Auburn. That's tracking up to the north. We're watching additional showers down across the southern Sacramento Valley, across the Central Valley, more storms down across the Bay Area as well. And these have been some heavier storms too, especially as they're off the coast. And now they're tracking eastward. So we're going to be monitoring this pretty closely for you over the next couple of hours. I think after about 7, 8 o'clock this evening, the risk for severe weather starts to diminish pretty quickly, but we will still hold on to the risk of some heavy rainfall, poor drainage, flooding, and that continues into tomorrow. So tomorrow is also a first alert action day, less so of a severe thunderstorm aspect, but more so for a continuation of heavy rain and snow in the Sierra. We'll likely see another 12 to 18 inches of snow in the Sierra between now and when the storm comes to an end. Wednesday morning, the showers come to an end. Thursday, partly cloudy skies, some showers, light showers Friday, Saturday, and unsettled weather going into this upcoming weekend. So overall, still another active day ahead of us, but I think we're seeing the peak of it right now, at least, when it comes to the severe weather aspect of these thunderstorms. And again, that rotating thunderstorm that we're watching up by Plumas County now continues moving toward the northeast, generally crossing over Butte County into Plumas County, and that tornado warning does continue just for a few more moments. But the good news is I'm not seeing the robust action that I was seeing not too long ago. So what we're doing here is taking another live check here at Live Radar, just another update regarding that cell. Again, not as robust as what we were seeing, still producing a good amount of cloud ground lightning strikes near Bucks Lake, as it's just on the western edge of Quincy. Quincy, you are not included right now. The polygon is down to the south, but the storm is tracking its way toward the north very quickly. And again, the storms down to the south out by Auburn, heading up toward Grass Valley. These are the ones on my radar to closely monitor next, in addition to the showers that are developing down to the south. We'll have another update coming up here in just a bit, guys. We'll be right back.